Hey guys, and welcome back to the Chaotic Kids channel, where I, Michelle, document my life here on YouTube as I try to become a full-time author, while also traversing the world of multiple personalities. If that sounds interesting to you, stick around. But today we are going to be doing a Would You Rather tag video, so let's get into it. Hey guys, so today we're going to be doing a Would You Rather kind of video. This is just something I wanted to do, just kind of for you guys to get to know me. I plan on doing these a lot more often now, just because I do find them really entertaining, and if I do have 3 videos a week posted, or attempt to make 3 videos a week posted, then it would be beneficial to have other videos besides just writing content videos. But so I've got these questions from author J.C. Carpenter's video. Yeah, I just say let's get into the questions. Yeah, I don't know. Let's just get into it. So the first question, would you rather publish one instantly great-selling book and never write again, or publish a string of 15 average books selling over a 20-year time period? Well, I don't know if you guys can see my background too well. I think you guys can. Those are all books that I've written. All 6 of those books that are on display, those are books that I've written. And also that omnibus, too. I would much rather have a 15-book series that's average selling over 20 years time span. Yeah, that's kind of more my game plan. I've even already written the 15-book series long, 15-book series. That is the Bugstopia books, those books up there. And I'm also doing picture books. I'm doing like picture books about saints. I'm doing what I want to do about a young adult novel series about kids that have mental health issues as they're traversing life as in the Christian faith, Catholic faith. I've got an idea for a huge fantasy world, and I have an idea for a middle grade book series about saints. There is no stopping me, pretty much. I don't think, and for me, I am somebody who suffers with a lot of mental health. I say a lot, but I suffer with mental health issues. And writing really is my coping skill. And also, since I don't have a family, I don't know, I don't have, sons or daughters or a husband or anything like that. But, I just couldn't imagine ever writing again. Like, if I stop writing, it's most likely because I'm dead. Frankly, I think that's what's going to happen. But yeah, so 15 average selling books over a 20-year time span. Question number 2. Would you rather do a cross-country bookstore tour or a blog tour? I think I would much rather do a cross-country book sale. Just because, I don't know, I used to love to travel. My family would always go on vacations every summer, and I just loved going out there and traveling and seeing everything. And just getting to, I don't know, seeing people in person as I talk about my books, getting to answer their questions, just sounds like so much fun. Yeah, I would love to just have an interactive experience with people, because, as much as I do have social anxiety, I do really enjoy having social interactions. And maybe it's because I'm so deprived from it at home that I need to have that interaction with someone else to feel complete? I don't know. Question number 3. Would you rather write on a rooftop garden surrounded by the city noise, or a quiet studio with cows as your neighbors? I kind of already have the cows as my neighbors. I don't live completely out in the boonies, I like to say. But I do live in a small town, and a majority of the time, I don't really hear much noise. And I don't know. I've always loved where I lived. I live in northeast Kansas. It's always just been so nice just hearing the cows. And, if I didn't have a desktop, I'd probably write outside more. And I would just, I would perfectly be fine just going to my dad's house. He lives kind of more in a secluded area, or, not as in town as I do. But it would just be nice to just, pull up a chair, kind of just sit outside, listen to whatever's going on, have cats rubbing up against my legs and stuff. That would just be so much fun for me. So yeah, I think I would choose the nice farmscape. Question number 4. Would you rather teach writing in high school or go back to grad school for a creative writing degree? Can I say both? I would really like to teach in high school, or at least have some sort of program that I have where I get to teach kids how to write. And the reason for high schoolers is because high schoolers kind of like, some of them need to like, that's just the time that you're like really exploring what you want to do in your life, I feel like. And honestly, for us in high school, we didn't know what we wanted to be, but like towards the end of it, we really fell in love with writing, and it was just like, why can't we have a creative writing class, you know? And if there was a creative writing class, it was exclusive to like the gifted program and stuff. But I'm like, I want it to be open to like everybody. And like ideally, now this is a stretch of my my wants and desires, but I would love to like, there's several little schools around me. I live in a rural community, and I would like to go to like one of the schools each years. So like I'd have a 4-year cycle. Be like, this school I'm going to teach at for this year. Next year do this school. Next year do that school, and next year do the next school. I know that's probably not going to happen, but I would love to do that just so then I get a fresh cycle of kids. Because like, as much as like you can teach writing, it's still like, you still like, if the people are taking the classes multiple times, it's not gonna be as easy as like, well, I don't want to say easy, but like, there's a certain point, like, you can teach as much as you can teach, but the kids are gonna have to explore it on their own, you know? Like, you can try to teach writing, but it's a personal thing between each person. And, you know, I do think I have a pretty interesting experience with writing, just because I am someone who has multiple personalities. But also, like, I'm a pantser, and, like, I've tried plotting. It does not work. So I'm like, I share an interesting perspective of it. And, you know, maybe if there gets to be a creative writing teacher around here, maybe I'll be like, hey, can I, like, come in and do, like, a talk with your class, you know? Like, be like, hey, you know, I know probably everything in high school talks about, like, plotting, and, like, you have to write essays. You have to plot what you're going to write, you know? But I'm like, I never did that. And I'm like, I want to just show other kids that you can do things the unconventional way. And I feel like that's just the story of my life. I'm going to take a little break and I'll be right back. Okay, so getting back into the questions. Question number 5, drafting or editing? I would probably say drafting, just because I love the art of telling the story. And like, for me, like I said, I'm a pantser. I have to tell the story to myself before I can fully, like, understand, like, not understand, but I have to tell the story to myself before I can get engaged enough to edit it. And, like, I honestly, like, if I could just pay someone to edit the books and that, like, do the final edits, like, that would be fine with me. Like, not, like, I would write the draft, but they would edit it kind of thing. I would love to do that because I always add more words to this document. But yeah, I prefer drafting. I always love telling the story. I do like editing it, but it's just not the same. I just like taking the time and, like, as my imagination plays with each of my pen names telling the story, it's just nice to, like, see how it progresses, you know, and be like, oh, I see this happening in the future, you know. I don't know, I just like having those plot twists that I can kind of capture right away. But so question number 6, would you rather write a novel that changes someone's life but receives no mainstream attention, or a novel that is incredibly successful in sales but that no one thinks about afterwards? I think, personally, I would probably have to say something that changes someone's life. Now, this is not necessarily directed towards Bugstopia, I would say, even though, like, I do, like, I know for my nephew, he, like, the Bugstopia world, I wrote for my nephew, and he is definitely in, like, it's gonna stick with him forever, but with my Grace Kit's pen name, she is writing a young adult novel with a character who has DID, or OSDD, or some sort of dissociative disorder like us, and it would just be so, like, we want that book to change people's lives and all that series to change people's life. um yeah, that's kind of what we do. Question number 7: would you rather write a story featuring real historical figures, or a story with your favorite famous with a book's famous protagonist? I don't know. I'm not really a person who likes to, like, tell. I don't like telling, like, real life people's stories. I say as I'm writing a picture books, like a saint book. I don't really know. Like, I think the problem with historical figures is I don't like doing research. I like to just tell the story and have my art of creativity. But also with the famous protagonist, like, it's got to be like a book's favorite, like a book character's favorite protagonist. And I'm like, I guess I'm already doing that with my own characters and my own books, but I really don't know about this one. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think about this one. Like, would you rather have a historical figure or your favorite book's protagonist? Because, like, my favorite book's protagonist would then be me trying to. I guess it's fan fiction. I don't know. I don't know which I would like to do better. Well, which one I would rather do, but I don't know. I guess I did do fan fiction for a little bit, so maybe fan fiction. I don't know. Question number 8. Would you rather meet your favorite author or meet your favorite character? Favorite author. I would love to pick their brain and really dissect how they work, how they grew their platform to be however successful it is. Yeah, I would love to do that. Now, who's my favorite author? I don't really know. I really don't know. Because I have so many, like I said, I have so many different parts. And especially with my 3 different pen names, Grace, Maris, and Shelley. They each have their own favorite authors. Like, Shelley likes Hank the Catalog, John Erickson, I think. I think that's his name. I think it's John Erickson. Or is it John Richardson's? I don't know. But she loved Hank the Catalog growing up. She would love to dissect his brain. Maris would love to dissect like a very high fantasy creature, like high fantasy storytelling, probably like Brandon Sanderson or something. And Grace would like to dissect someone who has like a Christian, like someone who writes Christian fiction books, kind of thing. Just so we can all, like, understand how they write and how we can kind of influence our writing style to them. Well, not influence our writing style, but, like, take notes away from it, kind of thing. So that was question number 8. Question number 9. Would you rather read one book at a time or multiple books? I read multiple books at a time, and I would prefer reading multiple books just because, like, as I said, and this is probably a broken record at this point, like, I have multiple personalities. Sometimes my littles are out, which are like children, like, well, they're alters that are younger. They prefer reading like middle grade books, but then there's like my more spiritual ones or my more Catholic faith alters who like reading Christian fiction books. And then there's the mental health book that I'm reading that is more directed towards like my mental health books that I'm reading, so, and like growing as a person. So I really just prefer multiple books, and that's kind of even the same with writing. I prefer writing multiple books at a time. Question number 10. Would you rather every book you start with once upon a time, or every book you end with and they lived happily ever after? Once upon a time. I know this sounds weird to say, but a lot of the time when I am writing, I will be like, like, when I first start a book, I'll be like, Once Upon a Time, but I'm like, no, I can't start with Once Upon a Time. But, like, there is a point that I'm like, I didn't know how to start this. I'm just going to say Once Upon a Time. Does it ever last? No, but it's just a thought. But yeah, and, like, I like to have slightly, I don't want to say slightly darker topics, but also, like, you know, like, I like to have death, especially for, like, They Lived Happily Ever After. That usually implies, like, a romance almost to me. And, you know, romances, sometimes I like to have tragedies and have them die. I'm a terrible person. I love to kill off characters. But yeah, that's something else. And, like, even with the Bugstopia books, like, they're happily for now, you know? But there's always going to be something else because it's a real life city kind of thing. Yeah, those are my questions. Well, those are the would you rathers that I have. If you guys if you guys enjoyed this, comment down below. Tell me what you guys think of some of the questions. I will try to leave I'll try to leave the questions down in the comments. In the description below. So if you guys want to do this, you can do it too. But yeah, that's kind of all I gotta say, and I hope you guys will keep making fantasies come true, one story at a time. And I'll see you guys later, okay? Bye!